COV is 30K. Then your Renault, how? Your Renault is, you cannot tell the Renault company there's no such thing as Atome. I pay you installments.
And welcome to our coffee shop. I'm your host, Media Leong, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you that are tuning in via YouTube or any sort of podcasting platform, hi again. Thank you so much for giving us a try, for giving us a listen. Just two Singaporeans where money not enough.
we love money. We love money not enough.
Yeah, we love money. The movie is not so bad. The Jack Neo movie.
That is true. I like number two more than one though. But
yes, I agree. I like number two more than number one. Yeah. But it's been a while since I watched do you watch the recent Jack Neo movie?
No. I think after a certain age, I think I reached a limit of the amount of Jack Neo movies that I can watch.
Yes, I agree. I think his last great movie is the Tiam Tiam era stuff. I think Our Boys to Men number one was still okay. Good. No, it was good.
Yeah. Number one was good. That's why I said it was still okay.
Yeah.
It was a very long, he kept coming out with all the Chinese New movies. After Money Not Enough 1, then 2, then after I think there's a 3.
Yeah.
Then after he changed to something else. Then after
I'm not stupid this time.
Yeah. Then after that, it became Our Boys to Men. Then the first one was like, wow, this is good. Our Boys to Men, living to. Yeah. Then after that, number 2, number 3, then you're just like, oh wow, this is enough, man. Then after that, Our Girls to Men, Our Girls to Men.
Whatever lah.
Something Our Girls lah. But I was like, wow, this is too much.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a trailer that is so bad? You're like, there's no way this movie will ever be good. 0% chance.
Well, honestly, I had a bit of that feeling when I was watching the new Doctor Strange trailer.
The Multiverse of Madness,
not Doctor Strange. Ant-Man. Sorry, Ant-Man.
Oh, yes.
It was horrible. I was like, how is this good? Even the villain doesn't even look that scary, or the villain doesn't even look that good. Considering that. Yeah.
No, but because I watched Quantumania recently over the weekend, right? And then it's really very bad. I would say out of the three, out of the Marvel movies, is the bottom 3. So it's Thor the Dark World, that type of level.
Gosh, wow. Thor the Dark World was horrendous. This comparable, that's really quite bad, man.
Yeah, it made the Love and Thunder look
amazing.
Like the Godfather or something.
Grammy winning.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the villain itself, right? Kang, who's going to be the overarching villain of the whole this next phase. I'll say, he's the best part of the whole movie, the villain. But then when you think about it, you're like, it's so ridiculous to have Ant-Man beat this Kang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If Ant-Man can beat this Kang, which is going to be the overarching villain for everybody, right? Then it's how is that after Thanos, right? They really struggle to find a proper the main villain.
Yes. See,
previously they found the previous villains are all so good. When you're talking about the first time Loki, then when Loki transitioned, with Loki, right? They introduced a huge villain behind the scenes, which is Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. And I also before we transition over to actually the main topic, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that I really feel is costing the whole Marvel's second series, right, to be sort of a bit weird, is that it's too jokey already. Everything is too comical. Yeah, they're trying to make it too funny. It's very Marvel humor. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least there's no depth, I guess that's why for Doctor Strange they added make it a lot more dark, to balance it out. But still, it's there's no depth to the story. There's no heartwarming moments anymore. There's no they're giving you the feels. Or maybe maybe a bit of recently after the last No Way Home. No Way Home, they included a lot of the nostalgia back. But then after that, that's because of nostalgia. But you're talking about like, the current heroes, like heartwarming moments, right? There's no, I don't know, like previously when in Civil War, it's like, wow, Iron Man had like issues with Captain America. Then Captain America has his own issues of like trying to, they have a lot of issues underlying. But then now it's just the movie is just totally haha. Like don't even need to have any like, don't need to think about it anymore. Yeah.
I completely agree. Okay, but to sort of transition over to the main topic of today, which is the letter M, right? Because we're doing money not enough. Because we're talking about like increasing prices in Singapore and then why the cost of living is becoming so difficult and expensive, right? Can you guess how much was the movie ticket that I paid to watch Weekend GV?
Oh, Weekend GV. I'm guessing a good old 12.80.
It was 15.50 per ticket.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Huh?
Bro, 15.50 per ticket.
15.50 per ticket. That's crazy. Ticket. That's insane.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Me and Nat, we ate lunch, right? The lunch is cheaper than the movie. Yeah, the movie, because I was like $31. And I was like, did I buy like some like special seat or whatever? Like, no, it's 15.50 for GV ticket. And I don't even like GV the most. It's like my least favorite of all the cinemas.
All the theaters, actually, true. I don't know what is it about GV. Is it their seats or something? But
it's the popcorn. I don't like the popcorn.
Oh, yes, the snacks also. I don't like the hot dog. I don't like the popcorn. The nachos also, they give you a bag, like just the plain bag of chips. Sometimes it's not even hot, the cheese.
Yeah, bro, I was like, why is it so expensive? And I like bought a drink, the large drink was like $4. But you think about it like in your brain, right? Like how come, I mean like I've been to the cinema, but I don't remember it being so expensive. Maybe it's because it had this topic. Maybe because it had this topic in the back of my mind, so it's more aware. I'm like, it's so expensive now, the cost of living.
Because last time when they increased price already, when on weekend you go watch this 12.80, I was already like, what the hell, 12.80 for a ticket? That's crazy, man. If I bring a girl on, like I bring Amanda on a date, then it's like $26. I'm thinking like, how do guys bring girls on dates now? Like $26 for a movie date. Like, that's not even including snacks. Like imagine you include snacks and drinks, right? That's about $50 just the movie. Then after you go for dinner, that's just like, wow.
Yeah. But speaking of like the movie, right? The nachos itself, it used to cost like $6.50. They go and
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the GV, right? The nacho set is $10 now.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? $10. Then I saw some people, they sneak in McDonald's, right? I'm like, I can't blame you.
Honestly, go for it, bro.
Yeah, but that's how the cinemas make money. Because cinemas, they don't make money through the movies, they make money through the snacks.
The snacks, the snacks and the drinks.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Okay, but now to transition over to this week's episode, which is Money Not Enough. Okay, even though we are talking about money itself, we are still a Kopi show, but I'm not drinking Kopi because this Brendan and I take turns. I'm not feeling well with my stomach, so yeah. But it's just the old standard coffee, right?
Right, today is the good old town coffee. Like my stomach just recovered. I can't deal with like
I don't want
to take a risk, man.
Don't try to be experimental or whatever. Yeah, okay. So for this week's episode, there's no Kopi review. For next week, you'll bring another Kopi to bring it in. Okay. But for this week's episode of Money Not Enough, we're going to be talking about the rising costs in Singapore and like segment off into 3 segments, which is transportation costs, housing costs, and the cost of living. Okay, so now let's get right into the talk. All right, Brendan. First off, we're going to talk about the transportation costs in Singapore. I don't know about you, but like previously when we were students or whatever, I always aspired, like when I was growing up, I want to own a car. Was it the same for you?
Yeah. I see like the convenience of the car. Like, no, my family all along, like both my dad and my mom drove a car. So it's like, it's always very, very convenient. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always like, especially when you first learn how to drive, then you get a chance to drive the car.
Yes.
You drive it everywhere. It's like, I love the idea of like having a car to drive around. Do you consider it but something that you would like must have now? A car?
As in, honestly, no. Especially in Singapore, I don't consider it a must have. Because honestly, right, Because if it only in Singapore, like if I just came back for Australia, like if I was in Australia, right, a car
you need a
must
car.
have. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you must have a car.
100% need a car. If not, it will really affect your daily life. You affect your wanting to go out with friends or to even go out with like to school or to go out to work. It will really make your life very troublesome. But in Singapore, honestly, you ask you, do you need a car? No. Does a car make your life a lot more convenient?
Yes.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
But does the price justify like the amount of convenience? Honestly, in Singapore, it's very hard to justify that. Of course, let's say if you're earning enough, right, it's really it's your passion, your passion for cars, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But for me, right, I always think that honestly, even with one kid now, I don't drive a car because right now the COE price are like it's crazy.
It's crazy, brother. Yeah, I wrote it down here also.
Yeah, it's like since COVID, right? Everybody say, nah, next year will drop. Yeah, next year will drop. It's just like
it ain't dropping, brother.
When is this COE dropping, man?
Yeah. Okay. Like so I wrote it down, right? For Cat A vehicles, it's 86,000 for the COE.
Ooh.
Okay, and then for Cat B vehicles, right, it's $105,524 for a COE. It's like so expensive, man.
It's crazy, bro. Like honestly, I was just telling my Australian friends, like especially that they sort of know how crazy it is in Singapore, right? Then I was like asking, hey, how much you buy this car? Then he's like 8K. I was like 8K, like 8K, as in 8K without the like just 8K. Then like no like don't need to buy the purchase the certificate or any other things. No, just 8K. I was just like. Oh, so 8K is like the remaining number of our like the car prices here is like it's like 168K though. I think some of the car dealership will knock off 8K for you. I give you discount for 8K lah.
Honestly, right, 8K right is the cost of our petrol per year in Singapore. Around that price.
Yes. Around that price. It's crazy in Singapore. Crazy.
Yeah, it's damn crazy. Like, for instance, a new Toyota Corolla, right? I tried to check. It's $152,000 for a brand new Toyota Corolla. I mean, like, when you think about it, I mean, there's that famous clip of when they asked Vin Diesel, how much do you think a Toyota, like a Mitsubishi Lancer costs, right? And he was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
For that price, you can probably drive like a Porsche in like, in a Western country.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But the one thing about Singapore that I'm like truly grateful about, right, is that our public transport is really very good. Like especially now that they got like the upper Thomson line or the brown color line. So many lines that are integrating.
So many lines now,
right?
Correct.
Yeah. And
they made a lot of places that used to be inaccessible, right? Very accessible now. Like last time, you hate going to Great World City because it's just like what? Like you have to take a bus to Orchard, then you take a train or a bus to Orchard, then from Orchard you have to take another bus down to Great World City. You're just like, why am I going so far for this random place in town? Which honestly is a nice mall, but it's like
it's a very nice mall, brother.
Yeah, but why must everybody always? It's not like everybody likes the mall, so it's like people who drive they always want to meet in the mall. But then when you don't drive, then you just like Great World City again.
Yeah, but it's a nice mall. It is a nice mall. There's a lot of things to do there, lah.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know about you. Since you don't have a car, do you like Grab a lot?
Honestly, right, the one thing I hate in like not say hate lah. Like I have a pet peeve that I don't like grabbing, which is on the opposite spectrum. My wife, it's like her go-to is Grab. It's just like honestly, she said she already said that she's allergic to public transport because like the first time she took public transport, she tried to take public transport in my new house. When we moved in, she sprained both her ankles and she's like, I'm a She's like, I ran for the bus and I sprained both ankles. You see, the first thing she said to me when she called me was like, you see, if I take a Grab ride, this wouldn't have happened. And I was just like, honestly, millions of Singaporeans take public transport every day. I don't hear like the hospital getting filled with people spraining ankles, okay?
Did she sprain both at the same time?
Yeah, she sprained both at the same time.
How?
So she landed, she tried to run for the bus, then she missed a step. She sprained one side, then when you try to save your like save it back, then she misstepped, then she sprained the other side. So it's just like the cluck, and she
Hey, but I think it's a misconception to say that you won't get hurt not taking a Grab or whatever. Because my cousin, right, she has this story where she was getting out of a Grab. as she was getting out of a Grab, right, she never paid attention, right? As she came out of the car, right, she sort of didn't see there was a slope. She ended up sliding down the slope, right? She tore her whole MCL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for like 1 year, she was like, I can't walk.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think that's what's tearing your ACL.
Yeah, so to me, in general, I think if you're clumsy, you're clumsy.
Yeah. Wherever you go, you're falling down.
Yeah. But in general, so she grabs a lot. Like, do you think it adds up a lot to your like expenditure?
It adds up a lot, bro. That's why I always say, but especially now that I'm older, right, I can understand why. Like certain times you need to grab is because when you are older, time is money, lah. So especially when you're talking about the weekdays or the weekends, especially now with kids, like. If you to spend an hour and a half to travel or 1 hour, as long as the journey takes more than 1 hour, I feel like, okay, like it's understandable that you want to grab. Because honestly, anywhere in Singapore is very accessible. Like, as long as you drive there, right, it shouldn't be taking more than 40 minutes. Right? End to end, it wouldn't even take 45 minutes.
Yeah, unless there's a jam. Yeah.
Unless there's a jam. Don't talk about jam. Yeah. So, like I can understand why, now as you grow older, but honestly, like if you take public transport, right, it's only the maximum it can add up to maybe like $3 compared to your Grab. Going there is $18. Then when you grab there, right, there's a high chance. Once it becomes a habit, I always feel like all of this is like habit. Like it becomes habits. So it's like you grab back. So it's not just $18 there, like it's $18 there, then after $18 back, and that's like not including search. Nowadays, Grab is just crazy. Yes,
I was gonna say, right, Grab is so expensive now. Like the pricing of Grab. And the competitors also like Gojek, all this, even like Ride. It's also expensive now. It's not like,
I feel like somehow or another, in the past it wasn't like that. Like, I don't remember Grab and Ride every day. Like when one was expensive, one of the other competitors will be cheaper. Like even Comfort sometimes, yeah. But then now, right, when one is expensive, right, everything's expensive. Like when Grab is expensive, right, you go to Comfort, it's the same, exactly same price. You go to Ride, it's the same price. It's like somehow or another, it's as if like they know their competitor is also surging. Sometimes when Grab is surging, right, you go on the Comfort app, right, it's just normal. It's there's no search whatsoever. And the worst part is that, especially now when there's a search, right, it's impossible to flag down a Grab. Like impossible,
yes. They'll see you. They're like, nope. Then they're just like,
they just put on there like on call because everybody want to make most of the Grab drivers now on Grab already. Yeah,
you can't blame them also because they want to make money. They have to do what they need to do. Yeah,
that's why I say I don't blame them. But then that's why sometimes you feel a bit beset for some of the older generations, the uncle and aunties, where they don't know how to use Grab. They don't know how to use like the apps. So it's like when they go a lot, sometimes you do see like people, like uncle, aunties, just standing by the side of the road. And sometimes they stand very long, like just waiting to flag a cab down. But it's no longer like the past. Last time in the past, the maximum maybe you wait 10, 15 minutes, you can flag down. Like a cab will come by because there's really a lot of cabs on the road. But now it's just like, honestly, sometimes, right, I believe, right, you can wait for at least 45 minutes, right, and there will be no cabs whatsoever. Yeah, I
agree. Yeah. So expensive also now, like but I completely understand what you mean. It's like time is money. Like you don't want to waste time moving around. Yeah. Especially transportation. Because when I was in Philippines, right, it's like I would spend so much of my time in the car. Like I would like go from one point to point. Is like I'd be there in the car for 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
Honestly, that's why. I remember you saying that Philippines traffic is crazy, bro.
Just miserable. I was really very miserable in the car. Then I'd be like, then I end up doing work in the car or whatever. Yeah, but one thing that I do appreciate in Singapore is that it's really so accessible. But how much do you think that you have to accrue each month to go and pay for your transportation costs or this? I mean, like, also, I think some important context for you to understand is that, for people to understand is that you're agent,
financial planner.
Financial planner. Yeah, so it's like, for you, it's very important to go and plan out properly how you want to go and spend your expenditure. And
I meet a wide range of people, from people who like Grab every day to the people who honestly they take public transport every single day. So it's like, or like some of them, like especially the best one, right, is that I met some, I don't know whether is it lucky or blessed or like spoiled. You can name some. It's like their parents, their dad, especially dad, sends them to work every day. Then they just take one, like a bus back. So honestly, they save so much on transport. So, and the opposite side of the spectrum, I have people who Grab every day to and fro work. Then that's like, can you imagine, right? To and fro work, right? In the morning peak hour, right? That's like 30 $30 there, for sometimes can go up to 50. Then after that, like another $30 back. So that's like $50 a day. Just, the time I was doing a calculation for him, I said, bro, you spend average out a minimum of $50 per day just on transport. $50 a day, that's $250 a week, $1K a month. That's just solely based on transport there and back. Not even including, since you make it a habit, right, you're probably cabbing everywhere. From even on the weekends. And on the weekdays, let's say you go out with friends, you're cabbing there and you're cabbing home from there as well. So it's like just on transport alone, right? Just on cabbing, right? You're spending at least 1.3 to 1.5 a month. Then after he was like, wow. That's great. Yeah, but of course, like I said, but to him, he says that he earns it, like he earns a decent amount. So he says like, that sounds okay to him because 1.3 to 1.5, that's probably what he earns. That's probably less than what he has to pay if he buys a car. So it's like, okay. Yeah.
So I guess your most important thing especially if you want to buy a car as a financial advisor is timing, and then also like the means lah.
I feel it's whether like honestly for my professional recommendation, it would be that firstly you should assess whether do you really need a car. Like honestly, like is it really a need? Like if you're staying with your parents, and your parents have a car that you can drive on the weekends, and honestly you just need to go to work. Honestly, why do you need a car? Like you can take you just take one train to car. Then after that, you just take one train back. Like, honestly, it's not that far. So it's like, but if like I said, end of the day, if you work so hard and your cars is your passion, because I know some friends that, wow, they love cars, like all they talk about with their friends is cars. Yeah, I can understand. Like, of course, if this is your hobby, this is like, it's going to take up your time and space. Like instead of spending money going to like drinking or traveling or anything, you rather invest that money in the car. Then okay, sure. But if you're talking about when to buy a car, I feel like honestly, right, you need to be earning, right, let's say, right, if you yourself, not talking about how family, right, you yourself want to buy a car, right, you should be earning at least like 8K a month to like honestly support to be comfortably afford a car, to you won't feel taxed out. That's if you are
if your recommendation for you to be comfortable, and then correct. Afford to go and pay for the other things, like you'll be around 8K lah.
8K, yeah.
I mean, I think transportation is one of the big topics in the, especially over the
honestly,
budget.
Especially with Singapore depreciation. Like you see Australia, wow, like you can buy a car, like you can always sell a car. You can pass down your car from your grandfather to father to son, grandson.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah. Okay. One of the big things that you just touched upon is actually the renovation or this. Okay, so now let's move into the housing cost for this. I think like some background on like our like housing situations at the moment. I only just got a BTO like accepted that we're going to be staying in, which will only be ready in like 5 years lah. Like but it's a good location, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah, but at the moment I'm still we move around from our in-laws' houses and stuff like that lah. So on the weekends I go to the west, and then on the weekdays I'm here. But for you also, you bought a resale house, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Is there a reason why that you didn't didn't apply? Do you apply for a BTO and didn't get it? Or?
Yeah, applied for BTOs, didn't get it. Applied for like I think twice or thrice, and especially Amanda and I will be together for quite some time. So we actually planned our like when we were 22, 23, we really planned like okay, we sat down and we planned like okay, what's our ideal age to get married? What's our ideal age to have kids? Then we work backwards. Ideal age to get kids, ideal age to get married. Then after that, I went to apply for house. But then after that, like I said, life. Sometimes when you plan out, it doesn't go your way.
Big middle finger, man.
You think you can control me?
You think you're getting a house this year? You wish again, brother.
You must be joking.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how many times do you apply until you were like, nah, let's just get a resale house? Like.
No, we applied all the way to the point that we married, right? Then we changed from, honestly, I believe a lot of Singaporeans that do this as well. You apply for BTO, fail. Then you realize it's too close to your wedding date. Then instead of applying for BTO, you apply for sale of balance. Then you apply for sale of balance, you fail once, you fail twice, you fail thrice. After that, that's it. You're already married. You're already living with, I was already married. I was already living with my dad. Then I think we lived with my dad for about close to a year. Yeah. So then after that, we applied for, I think, sale of balance, I think 3 times, and then it failed. All of them failed. Then after we decided, okay we can't do this anymore. Then we went out to look for a resale flat that we really like. Then after that, bingo bongo, here we are.
Bingo bongo, here we are. But when you are like getting this house also, right? In comparison to now, if you were to buy this house now, how much do you think is the price difference?
Oh wow, I think it will probably be about 100K more expensive at least. Yeah.
Wow, crazy, man. Yeah,
it's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, not like the housing market is so bad now.
And that's because we were bought a slightly older flat. Like at that point of time, I was thinking of, I was between this flat, for those who don't know where I stay Little India. So Little India, the prices didn't increase that much. It's because a lot of people still have that stigma, like, oh wow, Little India, like a lot of Indians, like, on a Sunday, which is, I guess it's true, but then like it's fine. They don't bother you, you don't bother them, it's fine. Yeah. So, but it was between this house and a place in Sengkang, which is nearer to my family. So at that point of time, it was the same price. But now the Sengkang one, right, is 300,000 plus more expensive.
Ooh. And also, like, there is a stigma with Sengkang and Punggol that the prices will, because there are so many options in the area, right? You don't think that it will increase so much. But the demand for housing is so expensive,
It's crazy, but it's because a lot of young couples, especially once they move, a lot of them just keep moving into Singapore because there are a lot of facilities and the malls nearby are catering to the younger crowd. So it's like everybody, their friends hang out there. Then after their family, a lot of them, their family stays around there as well. So it's like everybody just moving into Sengkang and Punggol. So it's a very young community. So it's like, the price just went crazy. It just skyrocketed. It's like it's intense.
Yeah. I'm also noticing the same thing with Tengah now because I'm in the west side, right? Yeah. Now it's like you see there are so many like projects also, like it's the news also ACS is moving to.
Yeah, honestly, I think the ACS one is the biggest. Like honestly, right, I have clients and friends, right, that bought places or rent places within within Bukit Timah Road, just so that they can send their kids to ACS or ACS/MGS, like either one. Like, can you imagine, right? So many people that are renting in like spending rental money of like 10,000 to 11,000 a month. 8,000 to 15,000 the rental around Bukit Timah, just so that they can send their kids to ACS and MGS. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I'm like, as an ACS boy, right, I must say, like, it's a bit overrated, lah. I mean, like, it's a nice school, and then you get a lot of the camaraderie with like the culture of the school or this. But I mean, like, you shouldn't go to the extent where it's like, I mean, if you have the means to do it, then okay, like, but I mean, I think there's a very weird stigma, the idea that it's like you must send your kid to
it's just because it's Singapore, really. It's just so competitive in Singapore. And I can understand why now that I'm a parent, like, I'm also like, wow, I don't want to, like, honestly, because my place is in Little India, we are within 2 kilometers from, like, St. Margaret's, from St. Michael's, and it used to be ACS as well.
You can't send Bradley to St. Margaret's.
St. Margaret's is if I have a daughter. But St. Joseph Institution Primary is over here.
SJI,
SJIP, yeah. So that's the reason why we are very reluctant to sell the place, because like with Bradley coming along, it's crazy. But especially, but I'm just telling you now, right? Honestly, it's crazy. Like sometimes I'm doing financial planning for my clients now, especially young couples who just got married. It's crazy now to think that when you have to buy a house in this market, right? It's insane. And honestly, especially in this day and age, right? I don't know why a lot of the younger generation, like people who are our age and younger, right? They are a lot more independent. I think they are very Western influence.
Yes, so Western influence. They don't want to stay with their parents. They move out. So they rent houses.
Like sometimes I'm just very mind blown. I'm just like, you're renting a house now in this market? How much is the rent? 2.8, 3,000, 2.8 for a master bedroom, for like not even the whole house, 2.8 is like for just a master bedroom with a toilet. Then I'm just like, it's nearby the MRT. Then it's just like, but you're spending 2.8, that's 1.8K each that you can be saving just by staying with your family there. Like, how hard? It's like, it's not like they don't have a room, It's not like, I can understand some of them where they used to share a room with their brother or sister, then of course they cannot do that when they are married now. But if you have a room and you don't want to stay there just cause, I honestly don't understand. Like, honestly, it's like,
because I completely understand what you mean by Western influence. It's because they want because Westerners, right, when they are like in college, right, you are on your own already.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Like
correct.
You go and figure out all this. But the thing about Asian cultures, right, we are completely the opposite of this. Like, we want you to stay in the family. That's why parents, they don't want you to leave the house.
Correct. We don't want you to leave the house until you're ready, until you're financially able.
Unless you're married, then you have to leave the house. Yeah. You get a BTO, then you go and move out.
Correct.
But it's just like, a lot of the times it's just people, they just want to be alone, or they want to be independent, so they leave.
Honestly, I have friends and clients, right, who are like in their 20s, not even late like 30s, 20s, right. They just started working, right, and then they spend like half their pay, right, renting a place.
Yes.
I was just like, huh? You're working and half your pay goes into your rent. You mentioned like half your pay goes into just your rental only. Yeah. What about your other expenses? Like your normal expenses is really probably takes up a majority of the other half. So basically, right, you're just almost living just because of your house, right? You're living almost like paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. Like I went to go and research this, right? So private rental spaces in 2022, right, increased by 30%, like the rental rates in Singapore. And then also, like, the cost of HDB rose by 10.3% in 2022. HDB costs have gone up 31 months straight in Singapore. Ever
crazy.
Since like the COVID, right? It's been non-stop,
And no matter what cooling measures they impose, right, it doesn't do nothing, man. It's like, well, we announcing cooling measures to slow this down. It's still crazy expensive. Like, honestly, right, like in the past, right, when it was my time to buy HDB, right, that was like only like 3-4 years ago, before COVID, 3-4 years ago. I think 2019 I bought my place.
Yeah. You had renovation works during COVID, right?
Yeah. That was the worst. Honestly, that's crazy, man. Yeah. We wasted a lot of money doing that. But 2019 I bought my place, right? There's no such thing as like a COV, like cash over valuation. But now, right, bro, if you are buying a resale place, right, especially
everywhere,
in a nice area, you are expecting minimum of a 20k COV. And
yes.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, a lot of people don't understand, right, especially, they only realize this only when they start looking and everything, right. All of this, right, is in cold hard cash, you know. You're not talking about, like, you can take, you're not like saying, like, I use my CPF to pay the COV. No, you have to pay cash, and not even including your down payment for your HDB, which also parts of it, there's a limit of how much CPF you can use as well. Then after that, honestly, where are you going to get this cash? After, let's say you pay, let's say your COV is 30k, then your reno, how? Your reno is, you cannot tell the rental company there's no such thing as Atome, I pay you installments. Can I Atome you? Interest-free loan?
Yeah, 3 separate payments.
3 separate Atome, 3 months. No, there's no such thing, man. Honestly, in the past, right, the banks will offer you like interest-free renovation loans, whereas like, as long as you pay back within, I think 1 year to 2 years, you don't have to pay any interest. But now with the interest rate for loans, right, it's so crazy high, right? Banks very rarely offer these kind of deals anymore. So I'm not sure about the renovation loan now, but I know that it's much, there's an interest that you have to pay for that lah. So like honestly, that's why I say, especially when you're married, right, for young married individuals, right, that's the reason why you see like a lot of couples, they're getting married later and later. Then even if they're married, right, you see a lot of couples just like not even staying together for very long. Yeah,
I know, like I have friends or whatever, they're married, right? Even though they're married, they still have to stay separate. You know what I mean? Because they both sides, the housing cannot accommodate the other person. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to buy a resale flat because it's too expensive.
It's too expensive. Yeah. Hey, even worse, it doesn't make sense to pay for a rental place in Singapore.
Yeah, completely agree. And also, I think one important thing to note, right, when you pay for COV, when you pay for the evaluator to come, right, you will never get that money back. When you pay upfront for the evaluator to come, and then after he evaluates, right, if let's say you decide like I don't want to get the house, right, you will never get the money back because you pay like a few thousand to go and get the evaluator to come and evaluate the COV. Yeah, crazy, man.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, right? Especially like when you're younger, like nowadays for young couples, right? It's very important to plan your finance, like especially all these things. You're like if you're taking things serious, right? You have to really sit down and plan together. Like Brandon, then like people ask me like, Brandon, so how much should I be saving every month? It's a very literal thing. Like you have to be a very intentional thing. It cannot be like, whatever leftover we have, then we like save aside. Then after that, maybe we have we have an account where we put in money each. Then like, this is for our future. Wherever we feel like putting in, we put in. Like, honestly, even for Amanda, in the past, even when it's not this expensive, right, Amanda, I really knew that it's going like all these things, like all these costs will add up a lot. Especially Amanda, I really knew that we want a big wedding, so like we knew that it was going to cost a lot. So after that, we set aside like 500 each a month at the start, like 500 each a month to put into a joint account. And for those of you that don't know, like if you want a joint account with your boyfriend or girlfriend, OCBC allows you to get a joint account with your fiat, but it's under the fiancé scheme, lah. Yeah, so you're engaged. Then after you get to have a joint account with a partner, so you all can. This is honestly, I feel like it takes your relationship commitment to the next level when you put in money together.
You plan for your wedding together. It's like you're really
correct.
You all have to do it together.
Yeah. Like honestly, like I said, it also takes another level of trust, like to trust someone to put in money together. Like I said, so of course don't jump the gun like, I was 6 months. I believe he's the one. I have a joint account. I'm putting in everything. No, please don't do that, lah.
Then after your wedding, like a few days later, I don't think we're meant for that.
Like, what are you talking about? A few days leading up to the wedding, all the money is gone. Where is he? He migrated overseas. Don't do that. Yeah. Like honestly, that's a lot. That's why I say it takes a whole level of trust. So when you do that with a partner, right, it really takes your relationship to the next level where you take every month you all decide which day, when payday comes, you all both like bank in the money together, transfer the money together, then you both have a notification, you're doing something for your future. So that after that, honestly, all this money adds up. Together. Yeah, so all this money adds up.
Together.
Yeah, it really does. So me and Amanda, we all had the habit of when we went out for a date on the first week of the month, then after that we'll withdraw the money out and we'll bank in cash together. We'll count 500 and 1,000, they will bank in together.
It's very like by bonding together,
Yeah, and you feel very, especially when you're young, you feel like, I'm an adult now. I'm becoming an adult. But
I got responsibilities.
You're working towards a responsibility. And honestly, you don't want to reach a point where you scramble for money when you're planning for, you're ready for marriage, but then money is the money is the issue holding you back. That's what you never want to happen. It's the same thing with house. Like you found a house that you really love, but money is the one issue holding you back, and you never want to reach that point of time. So that's why it really takes proper planning, especially now in this era where the market, the COV, and honestly, right, the one thing that went out in price as well, right, is Reno. Reno used to be cost so expensive,
Yeah. Crazy times also. But I also understand the balance of it makes sense for every Singaporean, right, to get a BTO because it's like a brand new house. You get it at a more reasonable price, but at the same time, it's so difficult to get a BTO. You know what I mean? It's it makes the most sense for any Singaporean that if a young married couple, because for me and Nat, right, we planned for a BTO, right, like while I was in uni and that was 7-8 years ago,
Yeah.
And then only now, then we're getting the house. It's like, wow, it's so hard.
Honestly, it's a mentality thing. Like, honestly, in the past, right, BTO wasn't even I don't remember it being that popular. Maybe 10 years ago. The government always have to encourage people to have a place. But then after that, it's all along popular, but it wasn't now 10 to 15 times oversubscribed. Especially those like crazy areas. Honestly, we were talking about housing, right? It's like getting the house is expensive. The moment you get the house, right, then suddenly you realize
there's so many things you have to pay.
So what's all these things? Who's taking my money?
Okay, now let's transition over to that part of the coin. I think we can lump it all together. the next part is the cost of living in Singapore, which is like general payment for all of your utilities, your food, your the small things that you don't notice.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much you're paying for all this nonsense. Like, it's crazy. For the fact that, especially for young people, right? Like, now I can understand why last time my parents get so angst when I don't off the lights and get very, don't off the fan. Why you leave the fan on the whole day? The aircon, you sleep until 10 o'clock, off the aircon at 7 a.m. You know, like, some parents will always do that. Off the aircon at 7 a.m. then you let you sleep in the fan after that. So, the first thing is electricity is crazily expensive in Singapore. It's insane.
Do you mind me asking how much is your, like, average month?
Average month is 120?
Okay, yeah.
That's just me and that's me and Amanda, you know, like, that's crazy. It's insane how much money that is, like $120 a month.
Yeah, that's like 12K a year. 1.2K a year.
1.3K, and that's just electricity. Then you include your broadband, you include like your, like water bills, like sometimes it adds a bit and it doesn't add a lot.
Yeah, water bill is okay lah.
Yeah, water bills, I don't believe you're using that large amount of water yeah.
Yeah, so, but for you, what do you think is the most noticeable thing that you've like is the like now that you're married is the most expensive like cost?
Honestly, it's electricity is one of the most like in your face, like, because I feel like you don't really notice it at start. Because the funny thing is when you first move in, right, there's a lot of USave like vouchers that the government gives.
Yes, correct. Yes. So a lot of friends tell me the same thing.
Yeah. You don't notice it. You get a USave, then you're just like, oh, it's cheap, what? Like, I'm not even paying for my utilities. That's the first. I remember the first 3 months. I keep telling my friends, honestly, I'm not even paying any utilities bills now because it's like, I got USave. You know, like USave can cover it. Then I think on the 4th, 5th, or 6th month suddenly, what the hell? Why am I paying 100 plus? Why am I paying 100 plus? From 0 to like $120, that's like a crazy jump. And you're just like, huh? Then you include, and honestly, with GST and with it adds up to a lot, bro. Like you add your water, then you add your GST, then suddenly it becomes 140, 150, then you're just like wow, $150. Then can you imagine, right, all these small little things add up, like, so that's your electricity. Then after you got your conservancy. Conservancy is like you have to pay to the town council, so it's like ours is like about $60, 50 plus $60 a month. So that's like it adds up to become 200. Then after you pay for broadband, that's another lump sum. So it's like including all your electrical appliances, including like so I said it really adds up. So especially now, I also one thing to note, right? It's just that like not just now we're joking about the automating. Like a lot of places offer like, you can pay this bill like with like 12 months or 3 years. Sometimes you don't notice it, right? But it adds up to become a lot. Like don't get
Yeah. One thing I noticed, right, is that like Atome, right, or whatever, it's like 3 payments or whatever. Yeah. So you think like, I'm splitting this thing into 3 payments. I can use my credit card to pay. But a lot of times you forget that actually you're using your credit card to pay. Then after the credit card, there's like running costs on your card. You might forget to pay. Then it just like sort of stacks up and all this. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then honestly, it gets very taxing for you on you, especially because you don't notice it. Let's say if you got a lump sum, the difference is, right, when you're talking about lump sum and like monthly payments, right? Lump sum you notice is very obvious to you. It deducts your emergency cash, you ease into your savings. Then after you just like, oh wow, you make a conscious effort to save more, so to bump up your savings to that level. Like let's say like everybody should have an emergency a cash set aside for a rainy day. So that's about like let's say 3 months of your income. That's a relatively healthy. So that maybe let's say you got 12K in your bank, 10 to 12K in your bank. So it's like when you make a lump sum payment, you buy a TV or you buy a couch, you buy all these big ticket items. Then after that, your savings drop become like let's say like 6K or like 8K. Then you make a conscious effort. Next few months I set aside more to push it back up. But when you're spending on your credit card, and you like, especially Harvey Norman nowadays, they allow you to pay back. You buy a bed or you buy a car, you buy a TV, you buy a couch, you buy anything at Harvey Norman, they let you pay it off right within like 2 to 3 years. Some of them can go up to 2 to 3 years, some of them in 1 year most people choose 1 year. But imagine everything adds up, right? You divide by 12, divide by 12. Then becomes, right, your fixed expenses are so high, right? That it's in the savings every month. Then after, then you don't notice it. You just spend as per normal. But then after you realize, right? Like I see a lot of my clients, they realize that, like every month I'm like saving lesser and lesser. Then I start eating my savings more and more. Then it gets very hard to like manage your finance, because it's like, your fixed expenses suddenly increase by like 600 to 800 a month. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah. And like taking all this into account, right? We're not even accounting for, which is what I think majority of people spend a lot of their utilities or the cost of living on is food, which is like the...
It's crazy.
I think it's the biggest amount. Like, you go out and eat, you eat at home, and it's like the cost, I don't know, but you spend a lot on food every month?
A lot. That's my biggest expense, actually. And especially that's why, for those of you that haven't moved out yet, right? Especially, it's a very, a shocking revelation, right? When you find out, right? Like, oh my gosh, like, how come my expenses increase? Especially for people who like to save, right? It's a very shocking thing. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember I spent this much. But then it's because you, like, especially now, you usually don't, a lot of people who, even though you like to save, but then, in this day and age, right? Where do you find time to cook? It's very hard to find time to cook, honestly. And cooking for two people, right? Let's say if it's just you and your wife, right? Is very expensive, I feel.
Yes.
Now
it's expensive.
The amount of ingredients that goes into cooking for the two of you, unless you're talking about meal prep. But meal prep means you are okay with eating the same thing every other day, you know? Like
my wife ain't having that, man.
Yeah. I'm quite okay with that, but Amanda will probably throw it at me. Then I have to eat like,
side note, right? Last night, I bought like a salad for my wife because she's saying like, I want to eat like a bit healthier. So I was like, okay, I go and buy the stuffed, like the a bit
I just had that for lunch.
Yeah. So we had like a salad, and then I put edamame beans, and then I put like quinoa. She see the quinoa, right? She refused to eat, no? She was like, what's this? I'm like, it's just protein. You can't taste, you mix it, you can't taste the thing.
Yeah.
That was a crazy moment. I was like, this woman. Yeah. But for food expenditures, I think one contributing factor to like rising food costs or whatever, right, is Grab or like,
Grab food. Yes, it's crazy.
And it went all the way up is during lockdown. It's because people, they are like, they get used to the idea. Is like,
yes.
Yeah, I'm at home, I can get my food. Then after, those people that normally they go out and eat, right, they don't like tapao food. Then after a while, they're like, actually, it's not so bad, lah. You know what I mean? Then they get used to it.
Correct. Because I can understand thinking. I hated Grab food back in the past, like before the lockdown. Like, I hated it. It makes no sense to me. Why am I paying like people like someone like $4.50, $5? Like, why? And not just that, your meals are already more expensive by like 20 to 30%. Because Grab food already check out the price already. So it's like, you're not even talking about delivery fee. Your food is already more expensive. So it's like, and if you don't hit the minimum amount, it gets even like, I don't know why they make it even more expensive. Like, yeah. So now after that, you just have to think like, wow. But then nowadays, after the lockdown, right, it's like, you like think to yourself, like, it's like, that's why I say it becomes a habit. Like, it makes it so easy. Well, you think to yourself, like, wow, I have to walk out. I spend like 15 minutes going there, then 15 minutes coming back, then I have to go and buy the food.
Yeah, because like what you said just now, time is a very important factor. Yeah, you don't want to waste time doing stuff. You can do other things while waiting for the food. Yeah, which is like,
I can be working, or like, especially work from home. Honestly, for people who work from home, right, it's really a hidden cost when you work from home. Yeah.
It's not like walk out and go.
Yeah, it's not like you have a 1 hour break, right? You're going to cook something. Because honestly, right, when you're alone, right, or when you just with you and your wife, right, honestly, I hate cooking. The one thing I hate, I love cooking. I'm okay to cook. I
love cooking also.
Yeah, but I hate to wash up. Yeah, same.
Yeah, same.
It's like, after you cook finish, it's just like, you're so tired. It's not like you're a bit like, I eat, until you're like, satisfy your food. And you're thinking, I didn't wash the pans, and some of them so oily, then after the plates, and then, then you just like, if you order out, it's in a styrofoam box, you eat, you throw away, you tie the plastic bag out, that is done. It's just like,
Yeah, but there's also no guarantee that your food will arrive safely.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's village or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah, but like for you, how much do you think you spend on food, like a month?
Wow, quite a bit. So I believe 4
digits.
4 digits. I think as you're talking about both together, Amanda and I family household. Yeah. So it's at least 4 digits easy.
How much of that is eating out?
Oh, actually, I think half of that is eating out.
Yeah, then like half of it is
like ordering
maybe
in.
Like one quarter is ordering in. How much of it is like actually you like stuff that you eat at home? Maybe 1/4.
I think less than 1/4 for me and Amanda, because we don't really cook that much. Yeah. We as in now with Bradley, of course, it's more lah. So like if you're talking about, that's why I say as your life stage changes, like your expenses change. So it's like last time it didn't even used to be 1/4. I think like only like 5% was like the groceries at home. Like 10% because maybe we buy a lot of drinks, we stock up, then we host friends. So that's the reason why then after that when we have Bradley, then we start to cook a lot more at home because we cook for him dinner, then we also eat the dinner as well. So after that, so now 1/4, yeah, correct. 1/4 cooking at home, 1/4 ordering in, then half of that is
eating out lah. Yeah, but it's also but I think most people, they also think of it as the eating out is it's time spent with your friends or this. So it's not So it's like creating memories. So in a way, it's like it's a fair cost lah. It's a trade-off.
Honestly, sometimes you can't really avoid like eating out with your friends. I guess like I said, the one thing you can save on is probably like when it's just you and your wife or you and your girlfriend.
Yeah, alone. That's when you save.
That's when you like eat, like try to aim to eat cheaper a bit lah. But like like I said, but if you can afford it, if you feel like this is the way you spend your money, you want to bring your girlfriend/wife on dates and go out, eat nice meals, yeah, sure. But I say that must plan properly though. Like when you spend more on one side, you have to save on the others, on your other expenses.
Yeah. And I think like, okay, to like sort of round this off, the one more additional cost of living that I think a lot of people don't really notice that much because it's more of a joyous thing, right? It's like your personal leisures and your things that you pay for. Yeah. So do you have like certain things that you pay, like for instance, we play Xbox, like there's a running account, you have to pay for the Xbox, the online membership.
Honestly, but like
sometimes I'm like, such a annoying.
It's annoying, but honestly, especially if you don't fit into your habit, like I said, you really need to monitor yourself. Like I have friends /client who spends about like, let's say on just handphone games, they can spend like, some of them spend 500 a month. Some of them can spend up to like 1,000 plus a month on handphone games, bro. And I very well know. And the thing about handphone games, right, is that how long can you play them for? Like like you're probably playing. Yeah, but I can understand lah because like I said, their train of thought is just that I'm spending a lot of time playing this handphone game because when I'm on the go,
it's my leisure. I might as well want to build something.
Build something and be the best because I'd rather be the best at these kind of games. And after that, like when I'm playing on the way to work, sometimes at work I play, sometimes I'm at home at night. So it takes up a lot of my time anyway. So it's like helping me save money on other things. So I can understand. Like I said, like if that's your main leisure and that's where you're spending all your money, yeah, sure. Like, but you don't tell me that you're spending all this and you still like go drinking, you still go clubbing. And honestly, that's, like I said, that's the most expensive, like, leisure activity in this day and age. Because when you go out to drinks, and you go out to party with your friends, the party alone, one night is really like, it's equivalent to some people's, like entire month of expense, like entertainment expense. Yeah.
And you very well know that when you're going out, the prices that you're paying for the alcohol, all this, it's times like 300%, 200%,
Yeah, it's everything because it adds up. It's like you go out for drinking. It's like means you stay out late. You stay out late means after that you're probably eating because you're hungry. The longer you're awake, you'll probably eat like you're outside. So it's like, and when you're drinking means you're cabbing from place to place everywhere you go. You cab there, then you cab to the eating place. Then from the eating place you cab back home. Then it's like it adds up. And let's say you do it like every week, right? Yeah, it's a few $100s a week. Yeah, so it's like I said. So if drinking is you already have drinking and like partying with your friends as a leisure activity, right? I feel like you can't afford to have all these other leisure
games.
activities.
Yeah, you can't do too many.
Correct.
Yeah, like I think like a lot of people don't know like the cost to run the podcasting stuff. Also, it's not free. You know what I mean? Like I pay a recurring like maybe like $70 a month. Like I pay $25 for this interface. I pay $25 to go and get the editing interface done, and also $20 for like the subtitlings and stuff like that. A lot, and not including the fact that we have to pay for the equipment like the mics, the mic stands, the webcams, all this. Yeah. So in a way also, if you want to do personal endeavors, also you have to incur personal costs also lah. You know what I mean? This is also on top of the whole thing. Yeah, so that's the reason why, like, especially when you talk about finance, right, it's always very good to break it down. Like, it's a very good habit to break your finance down, like, out of your income, like, what do you intend to do? And that's why I say,
of your income, right, you should always leave like a percentage, right? Like at least 10%, right, to like personal development. Be it you want to for like you want to start a business, future business endeavors, or you want to improve yourself, go for courses. Like it's really important. Like honestly, you see all those rich those billionaires, right? They spend a lot of money on like self-improvement courses or doing things that help to improve like businesses or like literally like investing in things. Yeah.
Okay. But so if Brendan, like before we end off, right, to summarize, what would be something that you would like to advise people overall when you account for transportation, housing, cost of living? What's the most important thing that you want to tell people?
Honestly, especially in Singapore, it's very important to just spend within your means. Yeah. Like if you're earning a certain, I believe you know yourself. Especially in this day and age, if you want to plan for a future with someone, right, it's impossible to live life, paycheck to paycheck. You know? Like if you're living life paycheck to paycheck, how are you going to plan your future with like your family, to have a family, to have kids, to have a house? Like how are you going to afford all these big ticket items if you have no saving? Like you don't have a plan to save or plan to to set aside money for all these things. Yeah. So that's why I say spend within your means, aim to save for all these big ticket items so that you don't scramble for money last minute, because that's the worst feeling ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in summary also they're trying to say is like spend within your means, have the discipline to know what you should be spending on, what you shouldn't be spending on. And it's also okay to spend on your personal enjoyment, just that you have to know it. Yeah, like what you said, spend within your means lah. Correct?
Yeah. That's right. Because you don't want to reach a time when you are money no enough.
Money no enough.
When you money no enough.
That was our money no enough episode.
Get out of here!
Oh, look at the time. The coffee shop is closing. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. We have episodes that drops every Monday. But at the same time, also, if you're into football, we have the Football Kaki that drops every Wednesday. And if you're into game show formats, we have the Draft Podcast that drops every Friday. We hope you guys all have a good year ahead. I know things are getting expensive, but let's try to spend our money wisely. But remember to return your tray, and remember,
a kopi a day keeps your troubles away. Woo.
Let's go catch a train!
Catch a train! Don't take Grab!
Alright, bye. See you, bro.
See you.